Hey everyone, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back with another video. And this is another My Hero Academia Season 4 review for you. So, today was another good episode and let's get into it. So, I took some notes on some things, but as all in all, I have kind of a gist of certain things going on in this episode, but again, another great episode. Really good episode. I still do like last week's episode more than this episode, but it was still another good episode. The one thing I'm liking from My Hero Academia is they're not only focusing majority on this plot dealing with this overhaul stuff, but they're really making out good episodes, and it looks like they're just focusing on the story. They're not doing no side fillers or anything. Like the only filler we got was like episode 1. Sorry. Was episode 1, and that was really it. So far we have yet to get like, filler that doesn't pertain to the main plot. So anyways, let's get into it. So today's episode was My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 5, and the title is Let's Go Gutsy Red Riot. So this episode didn't have Deku in it as much. Deku really doesn't make an appearance till like, the after credit scene in the episode. So, you know, it was mainly focused around Kirishima. But anyways, the episode starts off with these, villains just rampaging in the city, and Nezure, comes out and basically stops them, and we find out that her quirk is a surge like quirk type, so stuff like that. And then Sue and Ochako later team up and basically take the villains down. So yeah, that kind of starts off the episode, and they're under the number 9 hero on the Billboard chart for heroes is Ryuku, and that is Nezure's goodness, my voice. That is Nezure's work study agency. And basically, Ryuku basically tells Sue and Ochako, like, you guys do a good job. You guys did a good job, and like there's no reason why I would have not got you for this exact reason. But she basically forewarns them that they're gonna be teaming up with Night Eye, who has requested a team up with other hero agencies because of this overhaul issue. So yeah. Then it later cuts to Shigaraki, and basically he's having the rediscussion with Overhaul. And basically Shigaraki puts his foot on the table, and Overhaul's like, "Get the hell, you get your freaking foot off my table. That's dirty." So, but Shigarachi's like, "I don't give a crap what you say. I can do what I want, basically." But basically, he basically comes to a negotiation deal, says I'll work with him as long as, you know, I don't have to work with you, or as long as we are. He's basically Shigarachi said, we're not taking orders from you, buddy. We're gonna do our own things, and we'll assist you on the side. But stuff like that. I'm still am convinced that Shigarachi and the League of Villains will eventually do something to turn on the Shiha Saikai and Overhaul to basically get them out of the picture to make them the main threats. Because really, Shigarachi, when it comes to other people popping up being main threats or big things, he kind of doesn't like that. He did that with Stain. He hated Stain. Now it's the same thing here with Overhaul. He does not like Overhaul, but he's gonna play this out strategically and think about it. And basically, he was talking about in this discussion about basically the little, dart or bullet that takes away a quirk. Now, we later see that in in a battle dealing with Kirishima and Amakaji, who is a quirk. Or first, his hero name is Sun Eater, but while his quirk is based on whatever he eats in his diet, any part of his body parts will be able to turn into that. So, like for example, his hands turned into like tentacles, his footwork like bird feet, and then he had like a clam ability and stuff like that. So yeah. But anyways, they stopped this little drug gang, this little, gang that was like notorious for like drug smuggling basically in Japan. And basically there's this one guy who pulls out a gun and shoots Amakiji with that special bullet Shigaraki was talking to Overhaul about. And basically, um, you know, Amakaji tried to use his quirk to try to get the guy who was running away who shot him, but he realized that his quirk wasn't activating or working. So Kirishima follows him, and they basically duel out in this alley. And I'm just gonna say this is one of the biggest Kirishima moments. So for people who are fans of Kirishima, this was their episode really. And also it made me like and have much more of a respect for Kirishima. So basically, this guy has some. So the guy he's up against has some ability where he can have these like sharp, spikes coming out of his body, or like these metal spikes coming out of his body. It's almost similar to that one guy from season 3, when from who was like had those metal like sharp bars when he was fighting Todoroki and Bakugo, if you remember. But I think the difference is that stuff was coming from his teeth. This guy had this coming from his body, and basically. But there was a part where Kirishima beats him down, and this dude's like basically the entire fight is like basically crapping on himself and saying he's not all this and that, and Kirishima by blindly kind of buys into that and falls for a trap. And the interesting thing is there's this little capsule, this little, seal that held some kind of red drug. And the dude, at first I thought he was gonna stab into Kirishima, but he stabbed into his neck. And basically he got like some kind of or basically it's like some drug, some quirk drug enhancement power up where it makes your quirks stronger. Now Fat Gum, Fat Gum, who is the hero agency who Kirishima works under, he basically says, yeah, he basically says like usually those drugs are for people that have a quirk, are too weak to like bring out their quirk and use it. But this guy uses it for basically his villain work. And this is when we get one of the best scenes, I swear, one of the best moments I think in My Hero Academia, is when Red Riot goes back and recalls, because he remembers All Might from the training to be like, you can be bulldozing people. And then his friends, like especially Bakugo, kind of encourages him to be like, look, don't get yourself. And basically, Bakugo was telling him, look, don't get yourself down. Just because we're getting farther from your part doesn't mean you're no different than us. You can get strong your own way, basically. And basically, he brings out this new attack he's been training, and he calls it Red Riot Unbreakable. So this is Kaminari, or not Kaminari, Kirishima's, one of his new abilities slash moves, and it's basically where he becomes an unbreakable force where he cannot fall, or he really just doesn't get beaten, really, but he can only maintain that form for about 30 to 40 seconds, like he says in the episode. So basically, this move is where he has to use it when he needs to use it, and he has to act on it quick. Otherwise, he'll be open, or otherwise he'll have he'll be at a huge disadvantage. And it's lucky because he even said I'm lucky to have finished him off right as my ability wore off. Otherwise, I would have been in some real trouble. It was a really good looking move, and he looked really, and I mean badass, in this. And the animation on that design for his unbreakable ability, phenomenal. It was amazing. He later beats the guy, and the guy basically saying the same thing. He catches again Kirishima off guard and he tries to escape, but then Fat Gum comes in, basically gets him stuck in his tummy, and basically find out that Fat Gum's quirk is fat absorption, where he basically, if anything goes into his stomach, he can just absorb the blows. So basically, Fat Gum was telling him, "Hey, you did a good job, far better than when I did my first time. But the one thing is, you can't get caught off guard like that." So he was telling Kirishima, "Look, I can respect where you're coming from, but next time, don't let the villains, catch you off guard like that. You need to make the villains lose the will of the fight before anything. So it was an interesting tidbit that Kirishima learned, and it's a good lesson for him to learn too. Because when I was watching this, I'm like, dude, look, I'm like, dude, literally, this guy is just saying all this stuff to like get out of there and stuff like that. Now, you know, after that happens, after the villain's taken care of, we get an apparent flashback scene for Kirishima where we saw, I guess, Mina or Ashido running away while there was this, I guess, apparent villain, terrorizing these two schoolgirls. From what I'm getting from this, I'm guessing Kirishima did not do something like, I guess, defend those girls. So I guess he feels guilty about that. I did watch another reviewer before I'm making this review, and he basically said Kirishima's gonna get some character development pertaining to that backstory. So I'm guessing as we see more of Kirishima and as more moments from him this season, I guess we're gonna get more understanding to this backstory and why it makes him who he is today. So it's gonna be interesting to see it. Now, when I first watched it, I thought like I guess he failed like Ashido or like Mina had something for him, but he failed her and she, you know, I don't know. And that's what I thought at first, but now looking at the scene, I can see that he probably did not protect those two girls. Now, hopefully, those two girls didn't get hurt or killed, because if that's the case, I guess I can understand why he feels bad about that. But anyways, like I said, near the tail end of the episode, Fat Gum basically, tells Amakaji and Kirishima that yeah, what the dude used was probably a quirk enhancing drug, which kind of boosts their quirks for a short time. The only thing is they're banned in Japan, which is the country they're in, but say as opposed to but say if they were used in the U.S., basically, Fat Gum said, yeah, he could have probably used that enhancing quirk for about an hour, which goes to show that if they were in the United States, Kirishima probably would have stood no chance in that fight. But it goes to show. Now Kirishima asks Fat Gum like, "Why do you know so much?" And Fat Gum basically says, "Well, when I worked with us alongside the police, I got into like basically the black market pertaining to drugs and stuff like that, and dealing with that stuff." And basically, there's this one cop that comes up by saying the gun that the dude shot, it broke in pieces, but it's not just like any ordinary like regular like gun. It's some special type of gun, and apparently it must be some special gun that holds these darts that takes away the quirk abilities. So yeah. Now the end credits scene or the after credit scene of this episode, we do see Deku and they're in the classroom, and basically everyone's like, you know, or before that, there was the people who Kirishima protected. Um, they basically got his name down, and Kirishima said, "I'm Red Riot," and they were basically acknowledging him for all the things of all the well-beings he did, because he did a really good job. I'll say one thing: he did a better job with Ida when it came to civilians in the area. From way back in season 2, he actually freaking protected them and actually was worried about them instead of Ida back in season 2, who didn't give basically a rat's butt and wanted to freaking kill Stain at the time. But okay, I'm just putting that out. But um, like I said, going back to the after credits scene, Kirishima, Ochako, and Sue basically get into the headlines of the news for what they did on their work study and stuff like that. Sadly, Deku didn't get that chance because hey, Deku didn't really do anything. But yeah, but then it shifts back to Deku after the acknowledgments that they get. Basically, Deku, he's starting to get over the deal about the All Might and Night Eye breakup, but the thing he's now more worried about is the Eri thing and how he wants to like save her and stuff like that. Now, next episode from the next episode preview is I'm guessing the hero agencies that Night Eye is teaming up with is gonna talk about Overhaul's plan and basically discuss like what the hell's going on and we need to stop it now. And I guess we're gonna get the revelations to why Eri is being used in Overhaul's gang. So we will get that revelation next week. So next week is going to be another important week. Um, I know that, and it's funny because I also did see Gran Torino and Eraserhead, but you know, we'll see where it goes because it's looking gonna be a pretty interesting episode next week. So yeah, I cannot wait to see what the hell the goal, the plan is, and it's probably gonna be something messed up. But I'm guessing what Overhaul wants to do is maybe take away people's quirks. I don't know. That's what he said in the episode, saying All for One did something similar to that. I'm just kind of like stepping or upgrading my his plan to that. So yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting episode next week. But this week's episode was a good episode. Um, Another 9 out of 10 episode, really good episode. Um, you know, My Hero Academia has been doing good this season, and I can't wait for next week. So other than that, yeah. So basically that's it. So if you like this video, leave a like, and if you hit that subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content on this channel, as well as put a comment in the comment section on your thoughts about this episode and what your thoughts on how cool Kirishima was. And again, I'm gonna make this known. Please do not put spoilers for future episodes or things that are gonna happen later down in life because I'm an anime only viewer and I don't want to get spoiled. I want to genuinely be surprised for what to see each and every week. So please don't put any spoilers if you're gonna put a comment as opposed to things happening in the future. But other than that, that's all I gotta say. So this is Camry 15. I'm gonna get out of here. So you guys have a great day and see you guys next week for My Hero Academia episode 6 review.